What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the most recent physique update. From one guy who lived up to all expectations. In 2025, good Vito. The man legit looks like a guy chasing 300 pounds. And he's gonna hit that pretty soon actually. He's already in the high 290s. So another full-blown off-season. Just like last year, that is gonna allow him to focus on some of his weaknesses. Some weak points, mainly in terms of his posterior chain, especially in that back double biceps. He needs more density in that shot. His back lat spread, that is already one of his best shots. So the good thing about Vito is that he has some of the best quads in the open bodybuilding right now. And that goes front to back. The guy has some of the freakiest looking hamstrings and glutes, especially for someone who is just 28 years old. So that aspect, that is already covered for good Vito. All he needs at this point is more rounded, 3D looking shoulders, which will make some immense difference. And the side shots on him, they will become so much more competitive. Now, nobody doubts for a second that when good Vito says that he wants to be top 5 in the world come Olympia next year, that's very realistic. Now, it might take him maybe a couple of years, but eventually that's gonna happen. Now we can all agree that if good Vito, he would have placed a few spots higher at the Olympia this year, nobody would have complained. That's how good this guy was on his Olympia debut. And he made a very solid statement by outperforming all these guys, including Behrouz Tabani, who made their Olympia debut this year. So Vito's overall aesthetics, they are superb. The width, in that front lat spread, in that front double, the front lat, that is absolutely insane. And we all know size matters a lot, especially at big shows like the Olympia and the Arnold. So considering that Vito is looking to hit 300 pounds during this off-season, and he wants to stay there for quite some time to get some more muscle maturity, it's going to be a long off-season. So another weekend, another guest posing done by Quinton Beastwood, and seeing him in this kind of condition, that kind of makes you wonder. He could have cleaned things up just a little bit, and he could have competed at the upcoming Japan Pro or the Big Man weekend, which is happening in Spain. So that's how impressive and good this guy was during this guest posing. So this right there is a much more complete and a much more impressive version of Quinton, especially in terms of size and the wow factor that he brings. So Quinton in Italy and Germany, that was the best of him. In terms of his overall condition, he was ripped to shreds, front to back. But he always loses some of that size and wow factor when he diets down. That makes him look so monstrous during the guest posing or during the off-season. So it has been more than 8 weeks now since Quinton did his last show, which was France Pro, a couple of weeks before the Olympia. But the man is maintaining an awesome post-show look right now. So there are always some comments about Quinton that he's kind of overhyped because he has been unable to win a pro show throughout his 7 years long pro career. But people kind of forget that this guy turned pro at a very young age and he still hasn't even hit 30 as of right now. And the physique that he has already right now and the time that he has left to compete in open bodybuilding, especially at the highest level, that makes him worth all the hype, that makes it all worth it, talking about this man. So he was unable to get to the Olympia stage, despite doing 5 shows in 2025, but him placing second in 4 of them, that kind of shows us that he's very close to winning his first pro show. So it's grow time for Vito Krizo, and that time is coming, and Krizo will slowly transition into the freakiest bodybuilder on the planet, because during the off-season, the man looks so monstrous. So it has only been a few weeks since Krizo did his last show, that was Prague, where he got a very respectable 3rd place, behind Martin and Samson, and the man is already looking way bigger. So it has been said time and time again that Vito Krizo with a more tapered waistline, that is gonna scare a lot of people at big shows like the Olympia. And glad to see that the plan for 2026 that has already been set in motion, and that too so early during the season. So Krizo was spotted wearing a waist trainer once again, which means him and his coach, George Farah, they are very serious for 2026. So just imagine if there was no Martin and Samson in Prague's lineup. All the predictions, they would have been in favor of Keon, that he's gonna walk all over the competition at that show, including a multiple times Olympian, Krizo. But the result, that was complete opposite of that. So huge respect for Krizo as he suffered a shoulder injury, although he's still not back to his 100%. But not only was he able to get his 2026 Olympia qualification, he looked like the biggest guy on Prague Pro stage, and he's gonna be extremely dangerous in 2026 with a very streamlined waist. And if that happens, he's gonna become so much more dangerous. So the 2023 Chicago Pro champion in the men's open bodybuilding, Justin Shire, he posted an off-season physique update. So the man had a terrible showing in his last show, which was Tampa Pro this year, where he placed 13th, a show where he was making a comeback after a gap of almost 2 years. So that raised a very serious question, that was he kind of lucky that one time back in 2023 when he won Chicago Pro on his pro debut. Now for an Olympian who took almost 16 months to grow to get bigger after making his Olympia debut back in 2023 and not being able to crack even top 10 in an Olympia qualifier, that kind of raises a serious concern as Justin came to that show with the expectations that he's gonna be fighting for the title in Tampa and his Olympia spot. And the shocking part is that he came in bigger, more improved, more complete compared to 2023 in every aspect. But the judges, they did not see it that way. So Justin wasn't one-time lucky bodybuilder. He legit has an awesome structure, a crazy V-taper, the front double, the front lat, those are so aesthetic and so beautiful on this guy. But the fact is he was so underwhelming from the side as well as from the back that he just cannot compete in a deep lineup like the one that we saw in Tampa Pro. So unless he puts on some considerable amount of size, and not just in the back, all over his physique, but especially more density in the back, top to bottom. And actually that's something that he has been working on big time during this off season. But unless he can do that, he's gonna have a hard time winning another pro show again. So what do you guys think of Justin's future? Will we see this guy back on the Olympia stage, maybe next year? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So Pitor getting 4th place at this past Romania Pro, where he was looking so damn awesome, standing next to a guy like Josema Beast. So that placing was something that kind of caused some uproar in the bodybuilding community, where majority of the people out there, they did not agree with the results at that show. Most of the people out there, they had him in 2nd place. But now that it's in the past, the good thing is that Pitor is gonna be competing again this coming weekend, and he's gonna try to earn 10 points so that he can get closer to securing his Olympia spot for next year. So the structure on this guy, that is so classic, and that too from every angle. And this guy has written classic all over him. Even a guy like Milos Sorsev, he made a wild prediction that this guy can be fighting for the Olympia title in classic in the upcoming years. That is how good this guy is, because the fact is he isn't really missing anything. He has that tiny waistline, amazing arms, the biceps, the triceps, the shoulders, everything's there. The chest development on this guy, arguably one of the very best in the entire bodybuilding right now. Humongous quads, and not to mention the insertions on them, they are so amazing. So the one thing that can be improved, that is more density in the back area. Although his back is already pretty awesome, but compared to some of the top guys, he still needs work from the back, and that too top to bottom. So cannot wait to see him back on the stage this coming weekend. Also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for for watching.